Nazywam się Paulina Leszczyńska i jest mi niezmiernie miło poprowadzić dla Państwa.
My name is Paulina Leszczyńska, and it is my great pleasure to host this program for you. Today, I am meeting with women associated with the beauty industry. I hope you enjoyed our commercial that we recorded some time ago. It was pure fun, as it is right now today in our studio. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for your interest in this program and invite you to cooperate and emphasize that we are one of the lines that cooperate with New Skin in Poland. But we represent here one upline, Karolina Łaborzeplinska. Therefore, it is very important that when you start working with the company, you need to make sure who is the upline of the structure to which you are applying.
Jest uplinem właśnie tej struktury, do której dołączacie.
I cordially invite you to watch this episode and to actively participate in it, to write comments and questions in the chat box. You can be active and we'll certainly answer some of the questions at the very end.
Na sam koniec. No dobrze, to przechodzimy.
All right then, let's move on to the program. According to research, working in the beauty industry is the most desired profession among young women. The dream of many of them is to own a salon. Is the beauty business as beautiful as they paint it? This is what we will talk about with my guests. Today, on our comfortable new Power Show couches, I invited 4 guests closely related to the beauty industry with different specialties. I am a nail styling instructor, owner of a styling salon in Warsaw and a professional network marketer.
W Warszawie oraz profesjonalnym network marketerem. Dzisiaj zaprosiłam osoby, które...
Today, I invited people who work with New Skin and, as I said earlier, are closely related to the beauty industry for many years. Eliza Słomka, Martyna Jaroszek, Dominika Niemczynowska Baran and Agnieszka Szydłowska.
Porozmawiajmy o biznesie.
Okay, ladies, let's talk about business. Eliza, a lawyer by education, you chose the beauty industry because you wanted to have a relaxed and pleasant job. Was that really the case? Yes, exactly. I studied law and graduated with a law degree. However, I laugh that I went a little to the other side because I chose a career in the beauty industry with the idea that I will open a place that will be very friendly to women and where my work will make them smile. That's how I imagined it. That's why I went in the direction of nail styling, because I have been doing it for 12 years with passion. And was it really so? I opened a salon in Kraków, a large salon in the city centre. I hire employees and I am very happy with this work. In fact, to a large extent, this is exactly what I had envisioned. However, one thing I did not foresee was that this job is quite hard physical work because we mainly work 12 hours a day. I can see that all of you are nodding in approval, so I guess that's what it looks like for everyone. And in fact, in my case, it looked like that I worked a lot, I also earned a lot of money. I fulfilled myself and I still fulfill myself as a nail design instructor. However, this was impacting other aspects of life, a lack of time for yourself, no time for family. So it varies. Generally, work is great, but you know there are also time. There's no time.
Czas. Nie ma czasu. Agnieszka Szydłowska.
Agnieszka Szydłowska, master's degree in cosmetology, a woman who specialized in laser therapy. Your dream was to open your own practice. Why didn't you do it? Precisely because laser therapy is my passion and it is the technology I wanted to have in my own place. The costs associated with such an investment unfortunately did not allow me to realize this dream because what's the cost? Right. When it comes to really good technology we want to work with, one laser, for example, for closing vascular lesions is a cost of 200,000 to 250,000 Polish zloty. So add to this the cost of renting or buying premises, the cost of hiring employees, other equipment, furnishings, and all this creates a really huge amount. A huge investment. So therefore this dream is put aside. But I am not saying no. Perhaps someday. You take that into account. Yes, I think the business we're doing together will contribute to that. Possibly. So the dream has not been deleted. Not yet. Martyna Jaroszek, you own a beauty salon. You are a nail instructor and a mum of 2 growing boys. It all adds up. A one-woman brand. Almost. Especially, so where else does New Skin fit into all of this?
Ja jestem przedsiębiorcą od 11 lat.
Where else New Skin? I have been an entrepreneur for 11 years. I don't have a cosmetology degree at all. I'm a sanitary installation engineer by profession, so quite the opposite. I have been involved in the beauty industry for several years. I have been running my own business for over 11 years and a beauty salon for over 5 years. And how did it happen that I decided to cooperate with New Skin? I just saw a huge opportunity here, a huge opportunity to create an independent branch of the business that works wonderfully with what I do on a daily basis. It blends wonderfully with running a salon. And as the last year has shown us, it is extremely irresponsible to have one source of income. Because whether it is a full-time job or it is our own business, it does not guarantee us. It does not give us any sense of financial security. That's why we should have at least these two sources of income. At least. At least. Wise people say 7. Exactly. I've heard between 6 and 7. Right. Millionaires say so. Millionaires, yes. Hence the decision to work with New Skin. Thank you very much.
Dominika z wykształcenia magister ekonomii.
Dominika has a master's degree in managerial economics. She is a passionate makeup artist and trainer. I know that you never wanted to work full-time. Do you manage to do it? Yes, exactly. Fortunately, it worked. Because I laugh that if I had found a full-time job, I would have probably argued with my boss on the first day. Because I have such an attitude that it is very important for me to be able to self-realize, to make decisions. Therefore, the idea to open my own business. And that's how it happened, because actually, right after graduation, I started my own business. First, it was a mobile makeup salon, and then my dream studio. Of course, paid with sleepless nights, crying, and generally wondering, what have I done and will I make it? I think every salon owner has had these moments. That's how dreams come true. Yes, exactly. Who does not risk does not drink champagne. So it worked out. For 4 years, I have been running my dream studio. I love this place. I love my clients. But like Eliza, I have become a bit of a prisoner of my own business because working 12 hours a day is something every beauty salon owner knows. Me joining New Skin, I remember working 14 hours at that time. I had a 2-year-old daughter then. It hurt me a lot that there was no way to get a paid vacation. When I worked, I earned. It is exhausting, and let me tell you this, New Skin came to me at a really crucial time in my life. So that's why the question comes to me now. What was it like for you ladies? At what point in your lives did you join New Skin? Eliza? New Skin came to me at such a culminating point in my life. It was a moment when I was really working the most in my life, dedicating the greatest amount of time to my business. I was running 2 trainings a day, one in the morning and starting another in the afternoon. At nights, I took care of my salon's social media. On weekends, organizational matters, paperwork. It was really absorbing. Work was consuming me 100%. So it was kind of a moment when I realized that I needed to think about how I see myself in 5, 10 years. And it definitely wasn't like that right then. I couldn't imagine working that much my whole life. That was definitely not what I wanted. That was not my goal. My goal was definitely to live with more freedom. I'm that kind of person in general. I like to be free and independent. So I definitely wanted to try this business and see how it could go. Because maybe this would be the path that would make it possible for me. And it actually did. At the beginning, I started with just 1 hour a day because, as I said, I had no time. So in the meantime, I was doing New Skin. And it turned out that I saw the first effects literally after a month, and they were already quite nice. So, appetite comes with eating. I just wanted to keep going and see how it would go on. So I decided to reorganize a little bit my work, my working time, and dedicate a little bit of my time just for New Skin. And it definitely paid off.
Świetnie, bardzo się cieszę. Bardzo się cieszę.
That's great. I'm very happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Dominika, how was it for you? New Skin came to me at the end of the first lockdown. I regret that it was so late, but fortunately it appeared then, because that's when I started to look for an alternative source of income. Because I decided that I wanted to look at my business with responsibility, and there was no option that just one source of income would be my source, just the salon. And that's when Nu Skin came along. And also during the lockdown, when we were all closed, I just started thinking and wondering how I see myself in a couple years. Until when will I be able to do makeup for my clients? Until when will I be able to deliver these trainings? Well, not until retirement. My spine wouldn't be able to handle it. And that's when I decided to commit myself 100%. It was a hot wedding season. After lockdown, we all know what was going on. It was just crazy. So I laughed. I didn't start with an hour a day. I just did Nu Skin at nights. And I actually worked a lot at night. Just in my spare time, I would come back from the salon and I would work. Because fortunately here, we can do this work from anywhere on earth and at any time. We don't have any time frames, so it was great. And I'm even laughing, after all, when I joined the business, I'm like, okay, if I make this 1,000 Polish zloty for extra expenses in the salon, that'll be great. And I was shocked when a few months later it was a few times more, and then a dozen. So then I opened my eyes for real. And over what period of time were those several times more? Half a year. Bravo, bravo, this is great. Martyna, how was it for you? What was that moment?
To był bardzo podobny moment.
In my case, it was a very similar moment to the girls, but it was still before. This was still before the first lockdown, before the whole situation, before the events that just swept us all off our feet. Nobody could even imagine the direction in which everything would go. But it was also the moment when I started from the very beginning, driving around clients, working from home, when I thought that then I would be with my children. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. Well, after a year or two of doing 12, 14 hours a day at home, I opened this salon, which was my dream come true. Now I will hire someone and I will have more time for myself, for my children. And I was also very wrong. At that time, I was still working with clients. I had staff working 12, sometimes 14 hours a day. On the weekends, trainings. In the evenings, dealing with social media, orders, organizing the salon. All these things that... I have to say this. Let me know because I feel like every single one of us is telling a similar story right now. So please let me know on the chat box who has that too. Because it seems to me that a lot of women who are watching us right now are sitting in front of screens or monitors or phones and just doing the same thing, which is nodding off. Also, let us know on the chat box. We'll see those comments later. And ask questions for all of them, of course. For all of them, maybe not, because we will not sit until 3 a.m. in the morning, but we will certainly choose the most interesting and answer them. And what? And really, I was feeling like I was in a reel, like a slave to my own salon, my own job. No life, permanent fatigue, no desire to do anything and no time. Maybe I would still find the will, but unfortunately time was scarce. And there came a moment that I started to look for an alternative. What I could do, or how I could do it, how to work, what to implement to regain time. I would also like to mention something else. I was actually making money. There was money, but it was completely incommensurate with the work I was putting in. But at first you said no. I don't know if there was anyone more skeptical. Me. Perhaps. Maybe. At first you said no, precisely because you didn't have time. Precisely because I didn't have the time. And in fact, I was given the space to mature by the person who invited me to the business. I participated in trainings. I watched how it all looks like, how it is done, how this work looks from the inside. And then it was the moment when I noticed the huge potential of this job and the huge opportunities it offers. In addition to the possibility of development, which is very important to me, very good money. In fact, here we have no limit when it comes to earning money. Exactly. We're very happy for you. Agnieszka Szydłowska, living in Zakopane. When did the Nu Skin business come your way? At what point in your life? I'm going to mention it here because I've heard that the topic of motherhood comes up, which is also very close to me. Because it was when my daughter was 1.5 years old that this business appeared. And really very accidentally, because at the beginning I was a customer, a satisfied customer. As it turned out very quickly, satisfied customer. I saw effects very quickly after using the technology. And just because I was dealing with laser therapy and know how hard it is to get such an effect in the salon, it also drew my attention to the fact that it's worth taking an interest in. because I recommended the technology and products to my clients, and they began to use it, began to recommend it further, and so the word of mouth began to spread among my satisfied customers, also outside of the salon, because somehow at that time I had no direct contact with them. 1, that I moved to Zakopane from Kraków. 2, that I dedicated myself completely to motherhood. And only then I noticed such a business opportunity, because before it was more like an experiment, an experience. We'll see how it works at all. Well, the potential turned out to be enormous, and I'm extremely happy that this business has appeared on my path, because I give my clients the same high quality as I give them in the salon, but without sacrificing my time and my life. So I can dedicate my time to my child, who is already over 3 years old, and I can't imagine going back to work, because remote work is something amazing when it comes to personal development, as Martyna said. It's about time. Because even if we have our business and we devote all our time to work, when are we supposed to use the money that we earn? Here it's completely the other way around. We have time and money, and time for the children.
I możemy mieć tego czasu jeszcze więcej.
And we can have even more of that time. Exactly.
Patrzę też dziewczyny, wy robicie to naprawdę mega profesjonalnie.
It is also very nice to look at you, ladies. You girls are doing it totally professionally. I'm also incredibly glad that I joined, that this new skin found me, that I got involved, that I allowed myself to reorganize my life in this way. But I have gained a lot. It's also very important to me that I'm living a much better life, at a higher level, at the level that I wanted, and we don't have a limit. And now I'm actually wondering, because you know, at this point my stationery business is much more prosperous.
Dużo lepiej prosperuje.
I'm really thrilled with how I've grown my stationery business, my salon business, through working with New Skin. And I will tell you honestly that I think we have a lot in common here. Our beauty industry with network marketing, getting clients, working on personal brand. Generally, we don't get out of the beauty industry here either, because New Skin is a fantastic beauty and research company. And have you translated your network marketing experience, or vice versa? Have you translated your beauty industry experience into network marketing? How has that been for you?
Przełożyliście na network marketing. Jak to było u was? Poproszę o odpowiedź.
Dominika, can you answer, please?
Dokładnie tak samo ja też uważam, że po prostu
Exactly the same. I also think that this industry, I keep saying that New Skin fits beautifully into our industry. It blends very nicely. And I think in general, there's a reason why we chose this company, which is the leader really. Because I think for each of you, it is important that it is a premium brand. For me, it was very important that I could offer my customers something extra.
istotne, że tak naprawdę mogę moim klientkom zaoferować coś ekstra.
Mam pytanie, tak od razu.
I have a question. It came to me right now. Do you also do sales at your studio, selling our cosmetics? Of course. And I have a lot of satisfied customers, and that was such an indicator for me too. Because I tested everything on myself first, and only then I could recommend it. And I do it the same way every day. I only recommend products that I can put my name on, my name that I've worked hard to establish. And here it is exactly the same. So a premium brand recommending what really works for us.
Tu też mam coś takiego i też widzę po moim zespole, że
Selling by recommendation. What do we do differently in salons? Recommending our services is also a sale. We have something like that here too, and I also see from my team that growth in the New Skin business equals growth in our beauty business. It comes beautifully because here we are opening up, and in general we are also looking at how to develop our business on many levels. I previously feel that I was a little bit closed on the principle of a salon and that's it. And there are so many different aspects that we learn about just by developing here. I just wanted to add that the customer is becoming more and more demanding. People are looking for high quality, not only in beauty salons, but also want to take care of their skin in a very professional way at home. And we can provide them that. Whether we are in lockdown or not, the customer can benefit from very high quality products, such as technology of the company, which is actually an innovation. We are the first company in the market to give such things in the form of technology. For me, it's just unbelievable, and I'm thrilled. And it's hard for me to be thrilled because of what kind of technology I've used before in my practice. So here I really have a great comparison.
Z wieloletnim doświadczeniem, iloletnim
How many years of experience do you have as a cosmetologist?
Pracę w
I actually started working in my profession in 2014. Well, it's been a long time. Yes. All the time cosmetology is changing, so here probably also a lot has changed since then. Yes, this is an industry that requires training all the time, improving your skills. Each of us undergoes courses, trainings, additional trainings. And this business also translates into this, because here we are constantly up to date when it comes to marketing and more.
Jeżeli chodzi o marketing i nie tylko.
Eliza, a ty jak to było u ciebie?
Eliza, what about you? How was it for you converting the business, the beauty industry, being an entrepreneur into network marketing?
Najbardziej przełożyłam to takie doświadczenie instruktorskie.
In my case, I've mostly turned this kind of instructor experience into this business in the network marketing in New Skin, because I in general really like to train people. I love to pass on knowledge to others, to guide them through this process. It's the same thing that I did in fact, and I still do on a daily basis when it comes to nail styling. When it comes to instructing on this topic, I've translated that into a business here at New Skin, because here I'm creating a team, building a team, teaching new people, passing on my experience to them. In a very nice way, it's all solved here because it's on the principle of duplication of identical activities. So I just pass these activities, this information to the next people. So I have proven myself in this direction the most. However, the beauty business in general, such a stationary one, is nothing else but the relationship with the client. This is what we base on. We meet clients every day, we welcome them, and it is exactly the same. Network marketing is exactly the same. It's a business based mainly on relationships with people. So it's beautiful and it translates perfectly. Thank you so much. Martyna, do you have anything else to add? In summary, when I started working with New Skin, I received a number of great training sessions, and we have this training support at a very high level all the time. And I feel that it has even helped me to manage my stationery business. I think that I do it better at the moment, that I manage my team better. And this experience of several years in the beauty industry, when it comes to promoting a personal brand, the whole marketing, customer relations, all this experience as an instructor, I have translated into working in New Skin. And listen, I don't really do anything new. I do the same activities in the salon and in New Skin, and everything works wonderfully together, and only using the phone. Only so much. Exactly.
I w Nuskinie i wszystko cudownie współgra ze sobą.
Can I just say one more thing? Because now it came to me, speaking of trainings, because I'm also a trainer and I'm very comfortable here. But it's also cool that we don't really train our competition here. Right. This is great, really. I also have makeup artists coming to me from all over Poland, and no matter how you look at it, some people think that you are training your competition. Well, yes and no, but a little bit like that. I pass my skills, my knowledge to other makeup artists, and here we work very much as a team. Here we really care about helping everyone, so that everyone is simply the best. And it is wonderful, because this energy and this atmosphere of work, what we were saying, that here it is just, I love that energy, quoting Agnieszka Szydłowska. Here, in fact, we know how it is in the beauty industry. It varies. Well, it is different, really. And here there is a totally different energy, I fell in love with it, I really did. It's teamwork. And that's where you'll find teamwork.
Jest to, no, także to tak
Można przepaść. To jest teamwork i właśnie u nas ten teamwork znajdzie.
As I said at the beginning, we represent New Power Show. The whole organization represents Karolina Łapo-Rzeplińska, our main upline. And here for sure this support is huge. This teamwork is really at the highest level. As you can see in our studio, how well we get along with the ladies. Now, back to the topic of our program.
Na temat naszego programu.
Now, maybe a little less of a funny topic, because I don't know if you know, well, I'm sure you do. I've come across this opinion many times, and I'm sure you have also. You have a nice job, Paula. You sit there painting nails, drinking coffee, gossiping, and the money is flowing.
Pijesz, plotkujesz i pieniądze.
Let me tell you, people really don't realize that this is hard work. I had a problem with my wrists, with my back. Many different stories I went through. I'm after 2 wrist blocks, and this is my question to you. Maybe to Agnieszka and to you as well, starting with Agnieszka. How many times have you sat down to a client taped up with tapes?
Ile razy siadałaś do klienta oklejona tejpami?
Tejpami na szczęście nie, ale...
Tapes, fortunately not, but more than once I sat down to see a client with lumbar pain, with a numb arm, with discomfort, because there was client after client, no time for a sip of water, not to mention a meal.
brak czasu na łyk wody, nie mówiąc o posiłku.
These are hours spent with the clients, and in addition, there is also a psychological burden, as we often are the trustees of various problems.
Że my jesteśmy powierniczkami różnych problemów, a
For example, in my case, I also have a great responsibility for the patient in terms of the literal body, because here the laser treatments are very serious.
jeszcze zabiegi wykonywane laserem, no to
No
to
właśnie,
są
czy
poważne
miałaś...
rzeczy.
That's right. Have you had any unpleasant situations?
Znam historie, które
I personally haven't, but I know stories that have affected clients, and it is really a very big responsibility. A very big responsibility is taken on yourself and on your shoulders. So it's an added mental burden, not just a physical one. This is also where insurance costs certainly come into play in case of any accidents. Fortunately, my employer was insured, so in case something happened, and you know everybody is different, so it's really hard to predict sometimes different reactions, but it's definitely not an easy job because of both physical and mental aspects. And this work is often done in the late hours because clients have time in the afternoon.
godzinami, bo klienci mają czas po południu, tak? Raczej
Rather few people come for services in the morning, usually they come in the afternoon. And for this reason, I also did not want to sacrifice my family time for afternoon shifts. I don't think this is an easy job. I think that each of us sitting here knows that very well.
żeby to była łatwa praca i myślę, że każda tutaj siedząca z nas wie doskonale.
No właśnie, Elizo,
Well, Eliza, nice and easy. That's how it's supposed to be. Let's face it, doing nail art is a physical job. That needs to be emphasized. Let's get this straight. This is physical work. I most often struggle with problems with my wrists, fingers, numbness, etc., and of course my cervical spine. I have very bad memories of those times when I sat at my desk literally in that position for a solid few hours a day. Well, it's not an easy job, and I think everyone can agree on that.
No nie jest to łatwa praca i chyba każdy to potwierdzi.
Martyna, jakieś
Martyna, any ailments? Something was going on in your life? It was. Oh, it was happening. Fortunately, I didn't have to deal with tapes, but I had to use heating patches, especially in such hot periods before Christmas, Easter, etc. Harvest. Yes, so-called harvest. It was actually very, very hard. And those years of work resulted in back problems, wrist problems. I've been struggling with these problems until now. And I would also like to emphasize these pre-Christmas, pre-Easter periods. We are mothers. We work in the beauty industry, and this job is physically and mentally exhausting. And listen, there come holidays when we should be happy, sitting with children, with family at the table, and my holidays often ended up with me simply lying in bed. I had the exact same thing. I really did. I was just about to say that. I wasn't able to sit down at the table. Listen, I bent down about 2 years ago to get something, and I stayed in that position. You bent down for your gifts and didn't get up. Yes, it is indeed very hard physical work. Dominika? I know the pain too. I had to use tapes. Aside from the fact that I actually was going to work sick a lot, well, because I'll tell you this, I'm a makeup artist mainly, so, like you know, we makeup artists have this saying that makeup artists don't have sick leaves. They don't. Imagine the situation, the most important day in the life of a woman, and there is no way that you can do your makeup the day before, or the day after, or any other time. There is no chance. It has to be done on a given day, at a given time. It doesn't matter that it hurts. It doesn't matter that you're sick. It doesn't matter that something happened. No one cares. And I love this job with all my heart, and so do my clients. But planning your life a year ahead, it's tiresome. Let me tell you. I laugh that I can't be sick during the season. When I went skiing, all I could think about was not to break my arm.
Narty, to ja tylko Boże, żeby nie złamać ręki.
Ja miałam też kiedyś taki stres.
I used to have that kind of stress too. There was a time in my life when friends were going ice skating and I didn't go ice skating because I was afraid I would break my arm and not be able to do my job. I also loved my work. And I also worked a lot with clients back in the days when a wedding manicure was done on Saturday.
Ślubny manikur robiło się w sobotę. Tak, bo nie było...
Really? Yes, because there was no hybrid. I'm still from those days. So that's when it also had to be on a given day at a given time. Exactly. I was raised in this profession.
Mam tutaj dla was takie badanie.
Listen, we're moving on. I have this study here for you that I found and I want to read it to you. Based on this year, according to the survey of nearly 900 entrepreneurs in the beauty industry, 24% of them are currently planning to lay off some of their employees. 48.7% are not planning to do so, which is less than half, and 27.3% are still undecided. 2 official lockdowns are behind us. How did you ladies survive the lockdown? You certainly have responsibilities, payments, monthly financial obligations at a high level. How has it been for you?
Płatności, comiesięczne zobowiązania finansowe na wysokim poziomie. Jak to było u Was? Aga?
Aga? Great! Not kidding. I'm really not kidding because I know most people hate me for this. But really, the biggest growth of my online business just happened during the pandemic. Because, first of all, like Martyna said in the beginning, also open their eyes and realize that having one stationary business is just extremely irresponsible.
Jest po prostu skrajnie nieodpowiedzialne.
They started to see the downside and just look for alternatives, where I could help those people. I could show them another way that someone had shown me before. Secondly, clients started to look for alternatives because the salons were closed, and people want to take care of themselves.
Gabinety były pozamykane, a wiadomo, ludzie chcą dbać o siebie, chcą mieć taką namiastkę luksusu.
They want to have a substitute of luxury, so this internet sales also increased. And this also contributed to the fact that our business has grown very, very strongly.
Pamiętam, że
I remember we got this information that sales were up 40%. Exactly. And by the way, another point is that online sales are growing and it's unstoppable. Currently, if you don't have your business online, you don't really exist.
Nie masz swojego biznesu w internecie, tak naprawdę nie istniejesz. Nie tyczy się to branży, powiem szczerze, pogrzebowej.
This does not apply to the funeral and food industry, however, every other business does. Well, not necessarily food industry. You need to promote your services everywhere. In addition, we can network with influencers, with recognizable people. Any person who uses our products and technology is a person who can just recommend it further.
Naszych produktów, technologii jest osobą, która po prostu może polecić to dalej, więc jak najbardziej ja przepraszam.
As much as I. Sorry, but it was great.
Dominika.
U mnie było
Dominika?
inaczej, ale to
It
właśnie
was a bit different for me, but that's because I joined at the end of the first lockdown. So I don't remember the first lockdown very well, because actually, if it wasn't for the fact that I had money set aside and my husband's support, I don't know how I would have survived it. And I think a lot of people were surprised by the first lockdown, simply surprised. Everyone was. Whereas the second lockdown was a completely different story. And really, then I was already prepared for it, and I used that time to the maximum. I just used as much as I could. I was able to spend more time working on new skin, and I was totally shocked, really. I was so shocked at the time that from the position of my phone, from the position of my laptop, from the comfort of my couch at home, I wasn't practically moving. We were locked in all the time, and you could make such a huge amount of money. And what's even cooler, by then I was actually growing quite a bit, and a lot of people had joined my team, and I have a lot of examples. A lot of examples in the team were women running their own salons. Hiring employees kept their salons just because they worked with us. Really, there are plenty of examples.
Pamiętam przy pierwszym lockdownie telefon od jednej dziewczyny, z którą zaczęłam też...
I remember the first lockdown, a phone call from one girl who I also started working with a trembling voice crying into my phone receiver, thanking me. Because at that time, it wasn't sure if we were going to get any support, if we were going to get any money to pay for rent. She just called me and thanked me that with these first introduction steps of this business, she earned for the rent for the first month, and she didn't have the ability to otherwise maintain the salon. Martyna, how was it for you?
Lockdown był zaskoczeniem, ale tak.
For me, it was like for Agnieszka. The first lockdown came as a surprise, but I welcomed it joyfully because I regained the time to create my online business here. And listen, it was the time when I was crawling in new skin, the first lockdown. And I survived thanks to the help of my husband, that's true. But it was also the time of my first promotion in the company, thanks to which I started earning really good money. And I invested the money I made during the first lockdown in developing the salon. The moment they opened us, I moved to 3 times bigger premises. I increased my staff despite what was going on. I saw what was going on. I introduced new services, and all of that, of course, came at a cost. I developed it day by day, and then came the second lockdown. But I didn't stop creating my online business in between. I was creating one and the other in parallel. And here I also survived the second lockdown without any layoffs, without any backlogs, thanks to the very money I earned in new skin.
I tutaj już drugi lockdown Też przetrwałam bez żadnych zwolnień, bez zaległości, dzięki właśnie pieniądzom, które zarobiłam w Nuskinie.
Eliza?
Eliza?
Do tego momentu, jak dowiedziałam
I went back in my mind to that moment when I found out that we were closing down. And I can tell you that my emotions are a bit strong because I was in such a situation that I had 7 employees, a 100 square meter premises, which I rented, and I still rent in the city centre of Kraków. You can imagine what the cost of rent is there. And I will tell you honestly, I was devastated. I was in panic. I just didn't know what to do to survive. I was scared. I felt a strong responsibility for my employees, and I knew I couldn't let them down. And after some consideration, I decided that I needed to give my best right here in this online business that I was already creating. I started creating a while back because I joined Nu Skin at the end of November 2019. But like I mentioned earlier, I started with like an hour a day. I was literally, crawling around, rolling it out slowly, focusing more on stationary work. At the point of lockdown, it was my only option, just my only option. And I gave it 100%. I just remember sitting at home on my phone the whole month of April. Headphones all the time, callbacks, consultations, just already focused on this online business 100%.
słuchawki, dzwonki, konsultacje, po prostu już skupiłam się na tym biznesie.
I helped about a dozen women back then making a living. You remember Paula that time, really? It was amazing. And I remember to this day that at the end of that month, I literally burst into tears with happiness that I was able to handle this challenge that I was facing. Not only did I keep my place, I supported all the employees during the first lockdown, but I still had enough money for my private payments, which of course, leasing, mortgage, all sorts of fees. And I just was proud of myself that I managed. And that's when I felt that this business not only helped me really strongly, but it's something that I can share with others. So I decided that I would probably do this forever.
Ten biznes nie dość, że mnie pomógł naprawdę mocno, to jeszcze właśnie mogę się tym dzielić z innymi, dlatego postanowiłam, że będę to robić już chyba zawsze.
Na pewno zawsze.
Myślę, że
For sure forever. I think for sure. See how it is? We hire employees and we are, in a way, responsible for these people. And how we managed to create a second business branch? I must admit that I worked a lot at that time too, because I also felt responsible for my employees. I didn't want to say goodbye to them, because for me this is simply not the right thing to do.
Chciałam im powiedzieć do widzenia, bo po prostu dla mnie tak się nie robi.
I'm an entrepreneur and I have to anticipate. Of course, I couldn't have predicted the pandemic, but you have to predict some things when you run a business.
Tak, tutaj właśnie
Right. This is what is also interesting in Nu Skin, that working with a person, I understand that responsibility, but it's tiring. Of course. Responsibility for a person, for an employee, for a person who you don't really know until the end of the day whether he or she will leave you tomorrow. I had a lot of such situations. And here I really like the fact that we start to work with a given person, but whether she or he succeeds or fails depends only on that person. We can lead this person in and show her, him, how it works. But we don't have the responsibility that we have to pay social fees for this person, or we have to provide this person with a job. Even if he doesn't do anything. Not even. When we hire an employee, it is us who care the most. The employee should care too, but it really is us who care the most, and it is our great responsibility to provide her or him with work. So we do our best. Sometimes the person doesn't necessarily deserve it, and we do our best to make things right for that person, to make things okay, to be fair to that person.
zasługuje, tak? A my robimy wszystko, żeby tej osobie też było dobrze, żeby było okej, żebyśmy były też w porządku wobec niego i wobec tej osoby. No dobrze, dziewczyny.
Okay, ladies, I have some individual questions for you. Maybe I will start with Dominika. Dominika, what are your plans for the coming year?
Plan na najbliższy rok.
Plans for the coming year. Well, I plan to squeeze it like a lemon simply, to the maximum. I'm not slowing down, I'm constantly developing in both businesses. However, now I have started to take care of such a work-life balance, and actually working with the company has already given me that. I can already see after this year how I plan to work in the salon. Seeing here the perspectives where I can just work from home, because I used to be at home in the evenings only in the evenings practically. So now I can actually take great care of it. I plan to squeeze it like a lemon and help as many women as possible to take advantage of this business, because there are such possibilities here. I have the feeling, and I think we all do, that we have not yet managed to reach even 1% of people. and to show these possibilities, to show what can be done here. And we are facing the best year in the company's history, and you know it well. Business-wise, I plan to achieve the highest level in the company. I said it out loud. Well, if you said it, it's going to happen. Yes, so it is. In my private life, I can finally think about planning a family, about developing somewhere in this direction. Because I have to admit that my own business was blocking my thoughts about extending my family. And I think that many people had something like that. And for the first time since I started my business, I have such inner peace about what will happen tomorrow, what tomorrow will bring.
Mam taki wewnętrzny spokój o to, co przyniesie jutro, po prostu.
I to jest piękne uczucie.
And it's a beautiful feeling. Eliza, where will you be in 5 years?
Przede wszystkim nie boję się tej przyszłości i wreszcie
First of all, I'm not afraid of this future, and I can finally say that because in the past I couldn't imagine, and in general, I was afraid of what will happen later. Now, in 5 years, where do I see myself? First of all, I see myself with my husband and maybe a couple of children. I would also like to make my dream come true, to live in a place where the sun shines most of the time, because I am such a person, as you can see, even dressed in yellow, who simply likes the energy of the sun, from nature in general. I would definitely find myself in such a place, and this is what I aspire to. And maybe in 5 years I will already be able to fulfill it together with my whole family. Wonderful. I wish you that very much. Thank you.
Co zmienił network marketing?
Aga, what has network marketing changed in your life? Absolutely everything, starting with just money. Except the partner. No, the partner stayed. No, I'm not changing my partner. Absolutely. He's very supportive of me, so it's kind of not an option. Absolutely. Absolutely, it changed everything. First of all, such a financial position, a sense of security. For sure, I gained more self-confidence and more openness to people. I think that this kind of personal development is very important for me, and I can see it in myself to a large extent. For sure, 2 years ago, I wouldn't sit here on this couch. I wouldn't give an interview. I wouldn't conduct business meetings. I wouldn't be able to talk to someone about business. I wouldn't say. I think I did because you've got to know me then. So I think I developed a little bit.
Chyba rozwinęłam się trochę, ale co
But what has this business given me?
z którymi pracuję. I to jest dla mnie
The people I work with, and this is the greatest value for me. Because just as we said before, we are not competing with each other. We are working together. Each person gives something from themselves, and everyone can benefit from it. So the business has dramatically changed everything for me. Just as I said, from finances to personal development, the opportunity to spend time, plans. I fly with you, Eliza, to a sunny place because I live just below the Tatra Mountains, and it is way too cold. Exactly. And we can work from anywhere on Earth using only a phone. All it takes is the internet, so I think we're really able to make our dreams come true. On this island, besides the sun and warm weather, the internet must be too. Just internet. This is the top condition. Exactly.
Cel.
Martyna Jaroszek and her main goal.
Jestem mamą, więc na pewno tutaj myślę o przyszłości.
With the main goal, it's hard because there are a lot of them. I'm a mum, so this is definitely where I think about the future for the boys and good universities. I would like to invest the money I earn wisely so that the money will start earning for me. And besides, with this job, what I am doing now, I will travel, enjoy life, make the most of life. And I will just have peace of mind about that tomorrow.
Dokładnie.
Więc to jest też bardzo warte do podkreślenia.
Tak.
No dziewczyny,
For parents, it's really a great business given that it's inherited, so that's very important to emphasize.
szczególnie, że
Well, ladies, it's very nice to have had you here on this couch. Thank you so much, especially for the opportunity to discuss such an important topic for me. Dears, I would like to remind you that the whole new Power Show team is represented by Karolina Łapo-Rzeplińska's organization. So make sure at the time of registration that Karola is your upline. And it is very significant.
za tydzień spotka się z Wami Magda Dębska. Tematem
And next week, Magda Dębska will meet with you. The topic of the next episode will be working in network marketing from the perspective of a full-time employee.
razem z
You have to be with us because Magda will be talking together with her guests about how to change your approach, how to change the mindset that is ingrained in every full-time employee.
mindset, który jest zakorzeniony w każdym etatowcu, więc koniecznie musicie być.
So be sure to be with us. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Have a good night.
got me wonderstruck. Hooked on you, baby, you're golden.